Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tennis Fan Video. Aryna Sabalenka was sublime last night, putting in a near-faultless performance to quell the threat of Naomi Osaka. And whilst Andy Roddick was full of praise for the Belarusian and her clinical display, he could not assess the match without reviewing the post-match antics. After all, through no fault of the players, the American found himself struggling to watch what was unfolding on the Philippe Chatrier court. Taking aim at Fabrice Santoro, the man enlisted to interview Aryna Sabalenka afterwards, Roddick was unhappy with what he saw from the Frenchman. Andy Roddick reacts after cringing at Aryna Sabalenka's on-court interview. Speaking on the latest iteration of his Served with Andy Roddick podcast, he took particular issue with how the world number one was almost forced to dance for the crowd's amusement straight after her win. Roddick prefaced his claims by stating that he does like Santoro, but then claimed, "But saying, 'Will you dance for us?' is such a weird thing to ask." And then she does it a little bit, and it's kind of over, and then being like, "Moonwalk." He put himself in Sabalenka's shoes, adding, "Maybe people loved it, I just tense up. There was one at the Australian Open, and it wasn't Courier, and they asked some female, 'Could you twirl for us?' I was like, what the F are we doing? Maybe I could be wrong. I am fully open to that being a possibility. And when it's like dance for us, I am cringing." His biggest gripe was how Sabalenka could not win. Roddick concluded by stating, "But if Sabalenka is like, 'No thank you,' everyone is like, 'What, you can't play along, that's no fun.' It's a lose-lose situation. Maybe I am putting myself in that situation and realizing how uncomfortable I would be if someone was saying dance for me." Roddick's stance is perfectly justified. It was a cringe-inducing moment, with Sabalenka's lighthearted post-win challenge with Novak Djokovic twisted into an awkward on-court experience for all involved. Fortunately, we did get some notable quotes from her speech, as Sabalenka spoke about finally playing a night session here at Roland Garros. Aryna Sabalenka could complete the career Grand Slam this year. Last year saw Sabalenka enjoy an outstanding year laden with success. However, she inexplicably finished 2025 with just one major title, won at her final opportunity in New York. Despite her consistent quality at all of the big events, she routinely fell late on, losing in both the Australian Open and Roland Garros finals and the semi-finals at Wimbledon. However, her path to the title here in Paris this year has already cleared significantly. Sabalenka remains the outstanding candidate to win it all, and by some margin as well. Then, heading to the grass, it's expected that her bruising power and beautifully enhanced touch will only be amplified on that surface. It's not beyond the realms of possibility to think that she could win both Roland Garros and Wimbledon this year, and in doing so complete the career Grand Slam. In fact, it could be argued that she's actually favored to do so. Aryna Sabalenka reacts after awkward on-court interview. Sabalenka has since taken to Instagram to address her on-court dancing, although not in a way that Roddick has. Instead, she opted for an upbeat outlook, writing, "Moonwalking on Chartrier feels very appropriate for my first at Roland Garros night match. Thank you for dancing with me tonight, Paris." It seems that, whilst others might have found Santoro's request uncomfortable, she remains intent on keeping the positivity high. Andy Roddick left unimpressed after awkward Aryna Sabalenka interview following Naomi Osaka victory. Aryna Sabalenka had just done what champions do best: win under pressure. On the grand stage of Roland Garros, the world number one battled past four-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka in a highly anticipated fourth-round clash. The match carried all the ingredients of a classic: power, drama, momentum swings, and two of the biggest names in women's tennis fighting for a place in the quarterfinals. When the dust settled, Sabalenka emerged victorious, proving once again why she sits atop the tennis world. But what happened after the final point became an unexpected talking point across the tennis community. Instead of focusing on Sabalenka's tactical brilliance, her composure under pressure, or the significance of defeating a player of Osaka's caliber, the post-match interview took a surprising turn. During the on-court conversation, former French tennis player and broadcaster Fabrice Santoro asked Sabalenka to dance in front of the crowd. Music was requested, the audience cheered, and the Belarusian star, although seemingly caught off guard, played along and delivered a light-hearted dance that entertained the fans. Many spectators enjoyed the moment. Social media quickly filled with clips of Sabalenka smiling and dancing on court Philippe Chatrier. Yet not everyone thought it was appropriate. Former U.S. Open champion Andy Roddick was among those who questioned the exchange. Speaking on his Served podcast, Roddick expressed disbelief that one of the biggest stars in tennis was being asked to perform rather than discuss the match she had just won. He described the request as a strange and uncomfortable moment, arguing that elite athletes deserve questions about their performances instead of being put on the spot for entertainment. His criticism sparked a wider debate. Should post-match interviews be about celebrating an athlete's achievement? Or is there room for spontaneous crowd-pleasing moments that showcase personality? For Roddick, the answer seemed clear. Sabalenka had just defeated a former world number one in one of the marquee matches of the tournament. The focus, he believed, should have been on the tennis, the adjustments she made, the pressure she faced, and the challenge Osaka presented. To Sabalenka's credit, she handled the situation with grace. Rather than showing frustration, she embraced the moment and entertained the crowd. Her willingness to participate highlighted one of the qualities that has made her a fan favorite in recent years, an ability to balance fierce competitiveness with a playful personality. Still, Roddick's reaction resonated with many tennis fans who felt the interview missed an opportunity. Sabalenka's victory was more than just another win. It was a statement performance against a resurgent Osaka, who later reflected positively on her tournament and spoke about a healthier perspective on competition in life. In a sport constantly striving to elevate its stars, moments like these raise important questions. Athletes are often encouraged to show personality and connect with audiences, but there is a fine line between celebrating character and diminishing accomplishment. The irony is that Sabalenka's dance ultimately became one of the most talked about moments of the evening, perhaps even overshadowing the exceptional tennis that came before it. Whether fans agreed with Roddick or not, his comments highlighted a growing conversation about how sports media engages with athletes after major victories. Should the spotlight remain on the competition, or should entertainment take center stage? For one night in Paris, that debate became almost as compelling as the match itself. And while Aryna Sabalenka danced away smiling, Andy Roddick was left wondering why one of the world's best players wasn't simply allowed to talk about her remarkable win. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Till next time.